I want you to feel comfortable about the alphabet and the note naming, but there's something you need to understand about music. The way the system of notes evolves is quite interesting, but it's got not little to do with this class. But what you've got to understand is the note system is all about octaves. And you say, well, what's an octave? Okay. An octave is when you play a string and that we've tightened that to the right pitch, that's an E, right? And it's that whole length. Now, on your classical guitars, where the body joins the neck, the fret there, can you see the piece of metal that runs across as if it was a continuation of the body? That's the 12th fret. And that's halfway between there and there. And when you play this note, that's an E. And when you play that note, that's an octave, which makes it another E. Okay? When we get to the octave note, we just call it E again. Most people say, and this is the first, I've just had a bit of a light bulb moment myself. Most people, it's a really confusing way to explain things, right? Because they'll say, well, that's E, and you go, well, that's E. And they'll say, some teacher or some guy's been playing a long time. Oh, you started playing the guitar? Yeah. What's that? Tell me something about the notes. And he tells you this way. He says, that's an E, and that's E as well. And you say, well, why is it an E? And you say, well, it's the same. He goes, well, it's not the same. It's not. That's the same. That, and that's the same. That ain't the same. But they won't be able to explain to you why there's a sameness, but there's a difference, right? But it's not about that. The lettering system, I've done this 23 years, and it's the first time I've thought of a good way of explaining it. It's just come to me. Right, the note naming's got nothing to do. You could call it you could say apples, orange, pear, banana, grapefruit, pineapple. You could just call them anything. As long as everybody knows. Oh, play pineapple, will you? Okay, that's that one. No, that's not. That's grapefruit. We'll play grapefruit then. That's grapefruit. Doesn't matter as long as we all know what they're called. We just happen to use note lettering for it, right? The reason is we only want 7. We only use 7 pieces of fruit or 7 letters. So when we run out of the letters, we start again at the beginning. But it's done in such a way because when you're it's easy to explain on a guitar. It's much difficulty if it's a tuba class or a trumpet class. But when you're half the length of the string, it vibrates twice as fast. Even though we think of sound as this thing, like taste, when we taste food, it's a set of chemical reactions between our tongue and the food that we register as particular tastes. And it's like that simple idea of the vibration of the string, we perceive it in a musical way. And it's got a relationship. So that when you play that note, we can automatically tell it's exactly vibrating at double the speed. And it has a kind of what's called consonance, which is a relationship that we understand. And you say, well, that's well explained, that is, but it's still a little bit... So let me just explain when it doesn't work. So if I was to play this one, that's really harsh. Do you see what I mean? It's not quite halfway. And if I play this one... Oh, no, that's the good one. If I play this one, it's slightly less than half. And it's not got the same... But this, I hope you all agree, but there's no obligation to agree. When you play those, there's something between those notes that is not as harsh as these. And that's all you need to know, really, is that because of that similarity or that relationship, when we go from... I'm using the E note, so when we go... If I start at E, and then I'll go all the way up to the 12th fret and I play another E, or I play another note, because of that relationship, we started again at E. And the good thing about the guitar then is when you go from... You've got 2 guitars, because up to the 12th fret, everything up to the 12th fret repeats again up there. I like to call it mommy guitar and baby guitar.